Hey, what's up, everybody? So, the day has gone by and we got a pretty significant dump. Let's see. I mean, not too bad. We're down about 2%, 3%, 4%, 4%, 3%, almost 5%. Velo down almost 10%. CRV down 6%, Bitcoin down 1.67. So just give you an idea of what's going on here. The problem is Bitcoin, and I'll tell you in a minute. But looking at XDC here, kind of gives you a different story, which is we got this sort of 5 or 3 wave move down, and you got this 3 wave move up, and it looks like this could be a 5 wave move down. Could give you an ABC somewhere down here, and then a continuation. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, because it looks a little bearish. I mean, you can clearly see, this was looking okay, but you can clearly see the head and shoulders here, right? And you got a bearish engulfing candle here. You're dangling by a thread on this support. So if we get a 3-way move to the upside and then we start coming down again, I think this is gonna start to initiate some kind of crash. That's just one idea, though. That's how I'm looking at it. The other idea would be we have 3 here, and this itself is going to be a more complex 3, right? So we have 3 up, and then from here there's 2 pivots. Either we go into reaccumulation, we can flag out, actually 3, and continue, or we can come down in 5 or 3 and it could be a much bigger 3-wave move and then continue. So there you go. That's kind of how I'm looking at that. How do we know which ones are going to be? You just, at the moment it looks bearish. First thing I'm looking for is, can we hold that? Second thing is, if we do hold it, how do we go back up? And then, so Litecoin, you're getting some bullish divergence here on Litecoin. You could say now 1, 2. See, we wanted a 3-wave move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we have 6 and 7. We got divergence here, but that divergence can be taken out if we have a big dump. So yeah, it's not, it's kind of one of those things. It looks good one day and then it looks terrible the next day. So I mean, and again, like I said yesterday, Sunday is usually the most bearish day of the week. It's always usually bearish. So Monday is kind of bearish too, and then kind of once we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, it kind of picks up. I mean, that's kind of what I've noticed lately, so we'll see how that works. We still have this move up. We still have a 3-wave pullback. But what is going on here? That's another story. So, it just like, for example, when we look at THETA, let's look at THETA side by side. Look at this. Looks like a good possibility that, you know, we're still making our way down here. Boom, 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 right? But we should be ending hopefully soon. So Bitcoin is definitely looking bad. That's the issue. I mean, you can see, you know, either this is creating some kind of base, like this down here, and you know, it could be a Wyckoff accumulation type of situation where, so you could see, you know, how you have this little M shape. You take that liquidity and then continue. It's not the nicest looking one, but if this continues down, the way we would look for it is if we shoot down here and we quickly come back up and then start doing this, then obviously, you know, that's going to look really good. Or, so that's idea number one. Idea number two is we come down here, we come back up, we get rejected, and then we finish this five wave. That's five wave move to the downside. So that's what it's looking like. It doesn't look that good, honestly. And when I say it doesn't look good, it just means it doesn't look finished. It needs something here. So you could also have, this is schematic 1, you could have schematic 2 where this kind of starts to make a little base, starts to round up a little bit, and then continue. I don't know if that's going to play or not. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So the broad idea is this is a flat, A, B, and C. Some kind of flat. And now we're building a base. We're building a base on support, accumulation, right? And then we break out. I mean, that's the idea. The other idea is the same thing. It's a flat, but it's not finished. We got to finish down here. So it looked like maybe a WXY. So how this is 3, this could be 3. Right? And we also have 1, 2, 3 here. So we have 3 here. Right? This would be considered 3 down because it's always the first move is the move of the direction. Right? So in this case, it's down. This would be 3 up, and this would be 3 down. And I like that idea because you take that liquidity out. You're right at 2025. You're right at that pivot point where it could be, right? So that would be the idea. Now, the same idea would come up here in a retracement and then go down. So I think we're gonna get up here no matter what. I think we're coming back up here. But I think the route in which we take could be a little different. So let me just say, if that were to happen, you know, building a base from here and then going up versus coming down here, then going up, right? You could have this be a retracement. You can have this also be a retracement. So there's 4 ways, but we don't really are going to focus on 2, right? And that is this range. Once we figure this range, then we can narrow down the next step, right? The next step. So is this going to Wyckoff and get a retrace? Or is this going to come down and then get a retrace? These retraces can lead to breakouts, or they can lead to bear markets. So that's the main thing. That's what we're trying to figure out. But yeah, it looks bearish. I mean, you can see we're dumping and dumping. I mean, we're still dumping. And I think, you know, it's like a slow dump. It's not like a furious dump, right? You know, you pop the high and then you kind of move down and down and down, and it makes you think, oh man, we're gonna break down, and it kind of plays around and it maybe hits the low one more time and just makes everyone feel like, this is done, and then it comes right back. So I think we have to, that's what I'm saying, like, we gotta wait till January. I mean, we're not gonna know anything, and January's right around the corner. So let's look at the monthly chart since we're on that. We got 2 days left, and it looks terrible. That's a rejection wick right there. Now we do have also the 2-month chart. Whoops, that's the 2-minute chart. The 2-month chart looks great. Bullish. We also have the 3-month chart. That's good. So we have the monthly, the weekly, the 2-month, the 3-month, the 6-month, the 1-year candle. We have all these candles closing. The 3-month chart, it looks actually really good. It actually looks the best. It's this candle right here. So it's the first, or actually no, it would be the second. So you can see, look at this. There's your all-time high. There's your all-time high. Okay. So once we broke above the all-time high, we had 2 candles left. So technically we did break above the all-time high, right? But you could see 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. But it's, let's see over here. We had, when we broke the all-time back over here, this was a super cycle though. A little different. You know, this was tiny. This was big. And I think, you know, you could say that the cycles are getting smaller and smaller and maybe even smaller, right? And it's kind of rounding out. So I don't know, man. It just, who knows what the future is for Bitcoin. I think it will be very well, but the chart, you know, you got also 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of that's 5. So there's a lot of concerns with this thing, you know. Bitcoin hasn't had a real bear market. It had a pullback, it had a pullback, it had a pullback, but where's the actual bear market? This whole thing is one trend to the upside. A real bear market would be like this. Something to rival the time that this took. So imagine going back down to $1,000 Bitcoin. People say that's impossible, and maybe it is impossible, but I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I have no idea about that, but I'm just showing you. We have 5 waves. The rallies are getting big, smaller, smaller, smaller. Actually, these two are about the same. This one, a lot smaller, and this one so far a lot smaller. And you can see how when you connect this point here, and then you connect this point here, and then you connect this point here, you can see what it's doing. It's rounding. So if it continues to round, then that means you're rounding down, right? Because you're going to get to this peak. You're getting to this middle point here. So if we come back down, the next rally might be failed, and then fail, and then fail, and then you break out, right? Much later on. What would be the reason Bitcoin would do that? Would just totally destroy itself like that? Well, I mean, not forever, but for, a good 5-7 years. Well, it would be because the dollar, right? The dollar would be so strong that nobody would care about Bitcoin. Why do people buy Bitcoin? Because we live in a central banking fiat currency debt enslavement system. The dollar is terrible. It's going down. Okay, but what happens if Trump changes the system? What happens if he annihilates the Federal Reserve and reconstructs it in a way where it's gold, backed by gold, it's on the blockchain, it's totally decentralized to some extent? You got to have some level of something according to, some type of governance. Basically, we wipe out the Federal Reserve debt note, right? Because that's what you have. Inside your wallet, you got a $20 bill. That $20 bill doesn't say United States of America dollar. It says Federal Reserve debt note, right? So what if he changes that? How could one man do that? Well, you would have to have an event. You would have to have a financial event like 2008. And then it brings it to the table, a topic of conversation where, the system needs to be changed. And the system is, you're 30, 40, 50 trillion dollars in debt. I mean, it's so unsustainable. So I think that problem will be handled in the next 4 years. And if that problem is handled and we have a new dollar, and that dollar is super strong because it's backed by all the gold, it's on the blockchain, it's got a totally new system, then why would people buy Bitcoin if now our currency is good? The only reason I'm buying, or everyone else is buying Bitcoin, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I haven't bought Bitcoin in a long time, except for trading. Last time I bought Bitcoin for a hodl position was when Bitcoin was under $10,000. But as far as my trades, yeah, I get in, I get out. But as far as I just, I just not there, because for me it's all about percentages. XRP is the king for this cycle as far as percentages, as far as a coin in the top 10. Now you got XLM, you got HBAR, you got other ones too. But as far as the big daddy, you would go with XRP at the moment, right? Things can change. So why would people buy Bitcoin if our currency is fixed? Well, Trump, he said we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're going to have crypto regulations. We're going to have all of these things. That could be true. That could be totally true, right? And Bitcoin could continue to go up. But what is it going to go up against? If we don't have a dollar anymore, I mean, we're still going to have the dollar, right? It's still going to be USD. That's not going to change. But if the dollar is in a different sort of, it's in a different situation, crypto related, gold back related, then it's going to be a lot stronger. And meaning Bitcoin's going to have a tougher time going against it. Because this is Bitcoin versus the US dollar. So it's like Bitcoin, it's like, a UFC fighter versus a golfer. There's no match, right? There's no match. But now you have, Bitcoin versus, you have a UFC fighter versus, like a construction worker. Now there's a little bit of a match there. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tougher. And the rounding curve and the smaller rallies say so. Now, when you look at it on linear scale, it looks different, but it also looks scary, right? I mean, this does look very scary. And what do you see on linear? I see 5 waves. I see a landing zone. I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what if we had like an ABC like that? And then maybe this could be a wave 1. And then we come down for a wave 2, and then we go up for a wave 3. Let me actually draw that so we can see it a little better here. Whoops. All right, now let's go to log scale. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, you know, it still looks okay. I think the next bear market, if we get one soon, I think either, to me, this is going to be a mid-cycle correction, meaning something like this, boom, 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 or it's going to be one of the biggest bear markets in Bitcoin's history as far as time. Not necessarily percentages, not necessarily price, but I think through time. But that's for Bitcoin. Now, I do think the utility tokens like XRP and things like that, I think they will do extremely well. Because they're utility based, right? They're solving an actual problem. Bitcoin's problem it's solving is a bad dollar, is bad fiat currency, right? But if the fiat currency system changes, it's going to make it more challenging for Bitcoin. It's always going to, Bitcoin's always going to be the favorite. Nobody's going to trust the banks after what comes out. And I think it could cause a massive Bitcoin run, right? When we have this event and people understand how bad things really are in terms of, like when we had the 2008 financial crisis, everybody realized, hey, this is not good, right? So what did it do? It caused fear, and that fear could push Bitcoin, a lot higher, right? And an ending phase. And then people think, oh, it's going to go to $500 million. And then Trump comes in and says, we need to audit the Federal Reserve. We need to do this. We need to do that. And people are freaking out. And then, maybe in a year it gets fixed. And then people realize, okay, the dollar's, healthy because we basically wiped out the debt. You know what I mean? Or we actually paid the debt off using Bitcoin. So I don't, there's so many unknowns that could happen because Trump is the wild card. We don't know exactly what he's going to do. Something, I assure you, nothing I say here is financial advice, nothing at all. But I can assure that Trump will go head to head with the Fed. That is the whole reason he ran. You think he ran because of the border? Yeah, that's something to it. That's a big problem. You think he ran because of these crooked politicians? Yeah, that's something too. These little puppets, they're these little nobodies that just, Or do you think he ran because all of the problems we see today revolve around one problem, which is money? And money is, what is the root of all money is the banks. What is the root of all evil? Money. Well, really, it's the banks, right? So the root of money, it's like, well, what is the root of all evil? Money. Well, then what is the root of money? Banks. Dun, dun, dun. So who's the evil ones? The banks, right? Not all banks, but the design of the banking system. That's why crypto is so important, and that's why crypto will continue to do very, very, very well until the banks are fixed in a way. And then the banks, basically the banks will have a cycle where Bitcoin will go down, then the banks will get bad again, and then the government spending will go up again, and then all of a sudden you have another, you have these cycles, fiat cycles, crypto cycles, fiat cycles, you know what I mean? And those cycles could last 15, 20 years. I mean, we can see how long this lasts. Since 2008, 2009, 2010, really. So 15 years, just say. So anyway, this is just my speculation. I don't know what the future's going to be. I'm just having a conversation. I'm just thinking out loud. There's a lot of different things that could happen. But XRP. When we look at XRP, this is the chart that really gets me excited. This is the chart because we're still going to need cross-border payments. We're still going to need liquidity providers. We're still going to need, all these things that Ripple is doing. And they actually have a business plan, unlike Bitcoin, right? They actually have a use case. Again, Bitcoin's use case is a store of value. It's a 1950s classic Ferrari. You take it out once a month, once every 2 months, maybe to a car show, right? XRP is a 18-wheeler. It's designed to be on the road all the time, hauling a lot of stuff, okay? So, and THETA as well, THETA definitely as well. So, when I look at this chart, it looks incredibly bullish. This chart looks like it's not finished yet. It looks like it needs to come up here. Now, how does that happen if Bitcoin's in a bear market? Well, it's all about the retrace. So if we go, let me just do, actually, let's go back to Bitcoin and we'll look at it side by side. And then we're going to look at THETA. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the right and the XRP on the left. And this was back in 2018, same time period here. So I'm going to put a line at the very top of Bitcoin right there. Whoops, that's not the right one I wanted. Vertical line right at the top of Bitcoin right there. And you can see where XRP is. You can see how I'm moving my cursor to the left, to the right. That's where Bitcoin is, or that's where XRP is, right? I'm going to do the same line right there, roughly right there. Okay, so you can see exactly what happened here. All right, this was the very tippy top of Bitcoin in 2017. I remember that day because I was in Vegas on vacation. It was my wife's birthday. Actually, her birthday was on the 20th, but yeah. So we were there, and I felt like I hit the jackpot. I was clueless, by the way. But anyway, I think this is really a good example because we can use this for today. Now you can see what happened. Bitcoin, then it crashed, right? It crashed to the downside. And you can see XRP actually pumped. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to the upside, right? So if I take the cursor and I put it right at the bottom here, right, you can see right from here to here, and from here to here we were going up. Bitcoin was going down, right? And then what happened? And then Bitcoin went into a 3-wave retracement, right? And so if I go to the very top of that retracement, you can see the dotted line right here. That's the very top. Look where XRP is. Now XRP finished. So once Bitcoin went into that retracement, that's when XRP finished, right? So if we go fast forward with today, if this is the same case of what's playing out right now, right? Maybe we come down here. So there's two ideas. We'll do this idea first, and then maybe we come down here a little bit, kind of like a three-wave move. So you have 3 down, 3 up, and then we get a little bit bigger of a three-wave move down, and then we start going up into a retracement. And then what happens? XRP, boom, it finishes $5, $6, $7, $8, right? And then what happens to Bitcoin? It gets rejected here. It kind of goes sideways a little bit, right? So let me actually get that up there. And then there we go. So again, we come down, maybe tag the low, and then we start making our way up into a retracement, something like this. And then that's when XRP, you know, we flag out here, and then we break out. I'm just using this as an example, as what happened last time. This is exactly what happened in 2018 or 2018, the January, right? And look at where we're at. We're about to be in January. So it's actually the exact same period of time, interestingly. So yeah, we get a Bitcoin retracement, and XRP gets an actual pump to the upside very fast, right? Maybe even getting up to $10. And then Bitcoin starts to come down, and then that's when it's over. And that's when they both go down. So that's what it could look like. I'm going to actually screenshot that. Right? And is there any other evidence to suggest that could be the case? Yes. If we go... So before I do that, there's one more option here, which is, let's say Bitcoin is not in distribution yet. Let's say this is a flat. It could be a flat like that. It could be a flat like that, right? Or it could be, this could be a Wyckoff little base here, and then we come up, and then we hit the high here. And then what does XRP do? Same thing, just a lot stronger, right? But if we go all the way back in time here, right, and we look at XRP back over here, look at that, guys. Look when XRP, this was not even a bull run. This was just a retracement, but same thing. XRP was going sideways all in here, while Bitcoin was on a rampaging bull run from way down over here. Then what happened to Bitcoin? It went into this top. It went into distribution, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that, once we got to the distribution, Bitcoin was already finished. We were just in distribution. That's when XRP right here exploded to the upside. And not just XRP, but THETA as well. You could see XRP and THETA both exploded. XRP last, but they both exploded while Bitcoin was at its top. So if Bitcoin is at its top right now, then we should hope, maybe there's a good chance we could see some type of explosion. Now, if you could say, well, how come it's not doing it? Well, maybe because it hasn't finished yet, or maybe because Bitcoin is not in distribution yet. Maybe Bitcoin still has to go to 150K. Right? This could still be a flat. For example, if this is a flat, and then we come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then during this big move, you know, XRP maybe has a little bit of a wave up, and then we have a big crash. And then we go into a retracement. And then once we go into the retracement, that is when XRP explodes. You see, it could happen that way too. Something like, you know what I mean? So it would basically delay, if Bitcoin is not finished going up, it's just delaying the alt season. But when we look at things like Bitcoin dominance, you know, it's, let's take a look at that, by the way. So if you guys are finding this any helpful, maybe let me know, drop a like. You know, I'm not claiming I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm just trying to figure this out. It's a jigsaw puzzle, you know? And it changes every day. And there's a lot of moving parts, right? You got the stock market, you got the dollar, you got the bond market, you got the labor market, you got all these things going on. And it all sways through liquidity. Now, I like Bitcoin dominance. I think it looks great. Look at this. Let me make it bigger here. Okay. So Bitcoin dominance looks like it's going to crash. That looks like a dead cat bounce. I mean, it kind of looks bullish in a way because you have 5 waves. I don't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like a diag. Maybe we get a 3-way pullback and then another pump up here. Right? So then we get a 3-wave move and then we crash. So that was the top. And it could also be a flat where we come up here, we take the top, and then we crash. Right? So, but I think this should come back down here. I think it went up kind of fast. I don't like the way it moved up. It moved up pretty, I mean, that looks like a diag to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have a 3-way pullback. So this could come up in 3, and then we can come down in 5 like that. And then maybe hit the high again and then come down. And it could be our 3-way move. So I think we you know, it's going to take a month or so, maybe longer, for this to play out. But other than that, you know, it's, let's take a look at XRP now on the small time frames. It kind of reminds me of Bitcoin. Let me see if I can find it right here. Fractal perspective. This area right here. Look at that. Kind of. So we have a drop. We pump. We have a drop. We pump. Then we come down and do this kind of thing. Boom. Well, maybe that wouldn't work. Let me see if I can see it a little closer. It just kind of gives me this kind of structure. It kind of gives me reminiscence of what's happening now. That's all I'm saying. Especially kind of like right in here. This right here looks like this right here. You know what I mean? And this, boom, 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 kind of looks like boom, 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 boom right in here. And then you have your drop, and then you have your drop, right? So that piece of the fractal. So if that's the case, then what should we expect? We should see a freaking drop down to, well, what I can do is this is what I can do. This is why Fibonacci is so helpful. I can take it from the bottom here. And if that is the top, I can take it like this and go up to the top here. And where did we hit? We hit the 2. We hit the 2 Fibonacci right around there. Okay. So let's do the same thing over here. If, you know, just entertaining it. And we'll go up here. And where's the 2 at? The 2 is at $2.02. 2222, right? So we could be going down to $2.02 according to that analysis. You know, there's 1,001 different ways you can analyze a chart, right? So, you know, why my videos are long? Because I do more analysis, right? The more, it doesn't mean the more the better, just means different. It opens your mind to the different ways you can think about things, right? All right. So let me zoom out a little bit here. So how that would look would be, you know, a pretty big drop. Something like this, something down, and then we start moving up like that. And now let's get rid of that. There. Let's go up to the 4-hour chart. So it kind of looked like something like that. And I just don't really see it really too much from that perspective, but there you go. So that's a little bit of a fractal analysis. Let's move on here. What else could be going on here? Well, again, it's going to depend really on Bitcoin, but you know, XRP definitely lost its momentum. Here's the cool part. XRP still has the ETF. I think that ETF will, you know, Gary Gensler is going to be gone. The ETF is going to come in, right? We could, and this kind of paints the door for maybe some type of mid-cycle correction, or a fourth wave, right? Now, if we look at the daily, look, you have 1, 2, 3. What if we come down and get 4 and then get 5? Something that is the same size as wave 2, which is very likely, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's the case, this thing could be very complex. So let's see, we have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So like maybe 5 sets of 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like the daily because it just seems a little bit scary. Now, we could see also a little bit of a rising wedge here. If I go down like this, and then I come down like that. And that actually looks pretty decent. Okay. Got a little bit of a rising or falling wedge. We don't want to drop. We want to hold this line, and I think we can. We need to hold this area here, and we need to move back up. Let's look at the smaller time frames. Let's just do a little bit of wave analysis here, and then we'll move on. So we got 3, and we got 5. Question is, what is that? Well, that could be an ABC, and the C wave isn't finished, right? Because at first it was looking really good, meaning we had this impulse, we had a 3-way move down, we had a 3-way move up, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ABC. So here's a 1, ABC. It looked great. And then you're kind of building a little base here. You shot up. So this needs to hold the line. This is our base, and we need to hold that base. Now, it could be Wyckoff, and it looks really good like Wyckoff. Let me see. So here's our Wyckoff area. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Trying to figure out this structure. So you could see we have this move up, we come down, take the low. Move up, come down, take the low. Then we have this move up, and we don't take the high. Same thing here, we come up and we don't take the high. And then what do? And then we kind of go down, 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 down. Makes you feel like we're going to crash. Grabs that liquidity, then shoots up. Same thing here. We're going down, 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 down. Makes you feel like you're going to crash. We grab that liquidity. We break this area here. And then we quickly shoot up. Boom, 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 boom. And then go. I really, really like that. That's a good idea. Now, how do we know if that idea is going to play? Well, we have to track the wave. We have to follow it. Right? So, you got 1, 2, maybe you get 3, 4, and then 5. And then you quickly shoot back up. But if we get rejected here, and then we start going down, that's going to be bad. What we need to see is we need to quickly get back in here and shoot back up like this. Right? And then maybe play around a little bit, just like how we played around right in here. And then shoot out. So I really like that. And I think that would actually be one of my main ideas. Right there. So that is the main bullish idea. Now, there's two little points here. Number one, this might not have to go down here. We could just kind of curl up here. I mean, it all depends how it plays out, but I think it's relatively the same. If we move down and we come back up and then we get rejected and then we start moving down again, then what is the idea? Then it opens up a different idea, which is well, I would see it as sort of a wave. We have a 5-wave there. We have a 3-wave pullback. And then we have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have another 3-wave pullback. So a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then a big move down. And that could be your descending triangle. Boom, 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 boom. And then you crash. Right? And you would probably crash all the way down to $1.50. As we could crash all the way down to $1.30 and still be technically bullish. So between $1.30 and $1.50, that could totally happen, right? That could totally happen here. So you got a little bit of a, and the 4-day chart honestly looks bearish. It looks like it needs to come on down to this area. And then once we get to like February, March area, that's when we explode. And then maybe we finish up April and May. And then it's done. So essentially, we would break out, we would back test this area. Now, if we look back over here, that's exactly what we did. We back tested the retracement level. Here's your retracement level. We came up, we back tested it right here, and then we continued. So if we look at what's going on now, that would be our retracement level. But you can see we already back tested it. We technically already did. But so there's a couple different areas here. You got level 1, level 2, and then even level 3. So anywhere in these levels would be decent here. So let's go up to, let's see what we got here. Fibonacci level from here all the way up here. I mean, you can see that doesn't even get us. We can go all the way down to $1.97 and still technically be bullish, right? So we could have a 1618 extension here. So we have a 1, 2, 3. We come all the way down to a 4 and then shoot up for a 5. That would be brutal. That would be devastating. That would be just insane. I don't know if that's... No, I don't feel comfortable saying that because we're not there yet. But don't think it can't happen. Even with all the bullish stuff coming up. So there you go. That's pretty much XRP there. Let's look a little bit closer for a minute. Yeah, I think we have this trend line here. Boom, boom, boom. I think we need to come down here. Maybe and revisit that area down there. That $2 area. Right? What about the triangle idea? That could still be an idea as well, but I'm losing the love and feel for it. So you have an A, a B, a C, and then we need a D. But this D is taking too long. It needs to go now. It needs to go like yesterday. Right? I would give it another 3 days, but we need to get going. And then we need the E and then go. If this starts going down, 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 it's just not going to look right. I mean, if we move down here and then came up and got a D, I mean, I guess that would work out. It just, yeah, I mean, I guess so. If we come down here, we hit this trend line and then move up, it could still be a D. A, B, C, D, and then we get E. Or W, X, and Y, and this is a 1, and this is an ABC for a 2. And we're building a Wyckoff zone. We need to break out soon. So, yeah, I think this week is going to be the big tell. Right as we enter the New Year's. So, THETA. THETA looks actually a lot better. I mean, you can see XRP. It was a lousy little rally. Look at that. It's just a little fart in the wind. Nothing. Now look at THETA. You had a much more bigger push. Equal highs. Much better looking. Right? And remember the fractal we were talking about yesterday. Now this was with Engine Coin, but it's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? So if this thing comes down, boom, 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 we could see something like that. So, and if we translate that to THETA, then this could be a 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, and then something like that. So it's a tough one here. I mean, on one hand, you have a impulse, a 3-way pullback. Did we look at THETA? I feel like we did, or maybe just briefly. But we have 3 up, right? Maybe we can get 3 down and then get 5 up. Or this is a 1, and this is an ABC, a 2, and this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're about ready to rip soon. I like the way it's coming down. It looks kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's come up and get 5. That would be nice. Let's look a little closer here. Look at that 3-wave move. Let me get to the other theta chart. There we go. Look at that. We have a base. We have a 1, 2. We have a base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at that. We have a 3-wave pullback. I mean, theta looks really good, honestly, right now on the smaller time frames. And that's what I mean about rotations. One day theta looks like crap. XRP looks good. The next day XRP looks like crap. Theta looks good, you know? It's all about how things swing in certain directions. So, I mean, it's not confirmed yet. I don't like what's going on here, but, you know, we have a 3-way pullback. Maybe we get a little bit of a base, and then we break out. I mean, that's best case scenario, right? Because at the end of the day, this is going to come down and then get to a retracement, or it's going to get into a retracement. And then from here, we can move up or down, and from here, we can move up or down. So it's all about what happens over the next couple weeks. That'll be the big tell. Because theta looks great. I mean, you have the sell side of the curve, you have the buy, you have the base, and now you have the buy side of the curve. Now it's all about getting through these retracement levels. This is the toughest spot in the world. This is the most challenging area, is getting through those retracement levels. So everything depends on that. Are we going to do it? It looks fine. There's nothing that tells me no. So we're just going to have to see. Let's do a little rapid fire real quick before we end it here. H bar, you got 3 down, you got 3 up. Maybe we get 3 down like that. So WXY then go. That would be great. Monero. Monero's a tough one. I mean, it looks a little bearish right now. It kind of looks like a little bear flag here. So maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Come down and hit that trend line like XRP and then break out. ICP, I mean, yeah, it doesn't, I mean, yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday it was looking better. Today you got a little bit of a head and shoulders here. Now, when you're down in the dumps, like, you know, you're creating a base, that's when things are uncertain, right? That's when things kind of look crappy, you know, but you're basically going up, down, you know, until you break that range. Litecoin, same thing. You know, all this was a 3-way pump. So if we can get, and this looks impulsive. So what we need for this to sort of match what theta did, you know, how we went 3 up and then 3 down, we need the 3 down. But the 3 down looks impulsive to me. So that's why, you know, we're right here. We're dangling by a thread. So this is going to be very interesting how it plays out. Now, when I look at something like BOEM, you kind of see a little bit of a triangle here. Let's see. You got a 1. Whoops. You got a 1, 2. And then you got a 3. You got a 4th wave triangle. And then you hit the low for a 5. We could actually break that liquidity down here. And then swoop up. Or this is finished and we're creating a base, and then next step is getting a retracement. So those are the two options. I don't know yet until we break that range. Dot could be a Wyckoff range, you know. Has a little bit of a better shape. It's got that little W shape so far, but it still needs a lot of work. Same thing with SHIB. Render looks a lot worse. Look at that. You look like you're on a cliff. You got a head and shoulders here. So if this doesn't turn around soon, you know, you're gonna break down. So, but again, if we did break down, it's not the end of the world. It just means it's gonna take more time to recover and to fix itself, right? If everybody believes an alt season is coming, then there's no alt season. So we have to make people believe that there is no alt season. How do you do that? By bringing us down and making us think, yeah, the bear market is here, it's all over, and then boom. You know what I mean? So you got to torture enough people. And if people aren't convinced, then we got to go lower and lower and lower until people give up. That's just the way it goes. Now, like flow, you had this big base here. You broke all the way out. You came all the way down. You back tested in here. Now you kind of have to create a base in here, an accumulation range, before you can come back into a retracement. That's what I believe is going to happen. I think that's exactly what is going to play out. People are going to get bearish in here. We could even snap below a little bit. But I think ultimately we're going to come back and get a retracement. And then from there, that's when it becomes even more challenging. Now, THETA just looks like a disaster. You had this 3-wave pump. It looked really great. You know, you had everything going for it, and then just right back to the lows. So now it's like, man, you know, now it's going to need a lot more work, a lot more time. I still think if people are holding THETA, I would hold it because you were still on support. I don't hold THETA, by the way. I'm a trader. I trade back and forth. Now, I would wait for a 3-wave pullback. And then get a retracement and then reevaluate it. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much the end here. I'm really concerned. I'm really worried about XRP. I'm wondering if I should even just cut it here and re-enter later on from my entire swing trade. You know, I did take quite a bit of profit, but I'm not going to be afraid to take more if I have to. You know what I mean? So, you know, just be wary of fake outs and things like that. So anyways, you can see Zcash, right? You had a rise, crash, retrace. Maybe we get some kind of reaccumulation. So I think everybody's looking for up or down. I think, you know, maybe sideways could be the option. But yeah, just, you know, ADA, I mean, it looks scary. I mean, that looks like a freaking... That looks scary, guys. That looks like it could just die. Drop off a cliff. Could be a 1-2. A 1-2. You know? So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. Let's hope January, Trump, regulations, ETFs, and other things like that help get us going again. But anyway, that'll do it, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.